Islam Moors. Peace and love to all the active Moors. Peace and love to all the active Moors. This is a response to Sheikh Wa'el and his trying to, punk off the master teachers. Like, master teachers got time for him or whatever. So, I'm going to step in place for the master teachers today, you know what I mean? And address some things that he addressed so that people can be clear, be very clear, crystal clear, right, as to why there's all this confusion in the Moorish movement that nobody wants to deal with. Everybody wants to beat around the bush as to why there's confusion in the Moorish movement. Everybody wants to beat around the bush. It's just a thing that when it comes to the Moorish movement, nobody wants to deal with the issues. Everybody wants to beat around the bush. And we're not going to beat around the bush today. We're going to tell it how it is. Not that we haven't been telling it how it is, but it seems like people like the debate antics. People like the, versus antics. So today is going to be active temple Moors versus non-active temple Moors. So for the record, just so you know, I am Kudro Adwael, and I am a Grand Sheikh of the only Moorish Science Temple of America in Canaanland, that some people use the misnomer of Canada. In the temple that we have here, right, we do not cater to any type of religious controversy. We do not cater to any type of de facto processes without strict reservation of our rights when doing so. Meaning that there are Moors in the temple in Canaanland that have licenses. It's no big deal. We don't sweat it like that. Why? Because we're taught as active Moors that because we're under occupation, because there's foreign imposters pretending to be government in our land, that if you contract with anybody in your land, meaning Moors, if Moorish Americans in Canaanland contract with anybody, they better reserve their rights on whatever contract that they're making. We don't care what it's for. Just make sure that on that signature line, you write all rights reserved, without prejudice, doesn't matter, UCC 3-5089, UCC 1-25 million, doesn't matter. Make sure you put something on that line before you sign that contract, because we're under occupation. So again, not every Moor in Canaanland exercises right to travel. 99% of the Moors have quote-unquote Ontario plates on their cars, conveyances, whatever. 99% of the Moors in Canaanland have driver's licenses. issued by the Ministry of Transportation, which is a pseudo-governmental office that deals with transportation out here. But 100% of Moors in Canaanland reserve their rights on those contracts. 100% of Moors in Canaanland that exercise anything relative to being Aboriginal and indigenous to the land have a nationality card. Right? So we don't want anybody to take the position of thinking or assuming or putting out there that Grand Sheik Kudro in Canaanland said that we got licenses, we got passports. How did I go to Philly? I used a passport, Canada passport, corporate document. But on my passport picture, I have my fez on, because the picture is mine. The passport's theirs. The picture is mine. I paid for the picture. I went and got the picture done. The passport is Canada's stuff. It's not mine. In my picture, that's on the passport, that belongs to Canada, I have a fez on. The line that says signature, I have all rights reserved, and then I have the straw signature over that. Because I know how to live within contracts. And when you're living within contracts, your position is to reserve your rights on the contract. That's the position. Reserve your rights on the contract. Because the contract, anything that you sign, the contract, anything that someone slides to you and says, sign here, that's a contract. And if that individual that is sliding something to you to sign, or if you're going to some office and pulling something off of a wall and filling in the information and signing it, that's a contract. And more than likely, that individual that put that paper on the wall or slid you that paper across the desk telling you sign, more than likely they're diverse nationality to yourself. And if they're diverse nationality, the next question is, where do they get the authority in your land to be giving you contracts that you're willingly going to sign without reserving your rights? Simple as that. So we want people to be clear. We want people to be clear that we are not saying don't have a license, don't have a job, don't have anything that the democracy is giving, don't have a birth certificate, don't have a whatever. We're not saying don't have that. We're saying that because you're under occupation, anything you have from those people who are foreigners in your land that are pretending to be your government, you should be reserving your rights on those contracts. You should be. That should just be standard across the board. No matter what you sign with these people, you reserve your rights. That's just what it should be. No matter what it is that you sign, anything that you sign, I don't care what it is. If you say that you're a Moor and you've been studying this information and you proclaimed your nationality, you got El Bey on your name, Al Day, Ali, whatever, know that you're under occupation. Know that anytime you sign something with these imposters that are pretending to be government, the people that have the offices that say they are mayor, president, prime minister, councilman, state governor, or whatever, all these individuals are imposters out here. And you should be reserving your rights on anything that these people push to you to sign. anything, I don't care what it is, make sure you reserve your rights. Right on the line, all rights reserved. Or do like Moors do, go get the stamp made and then just stamp the paper, all rights reserved, and sign over the stamp. That's just what it should be. Right? Because individuals are taking the position of making active Moors seem like we're trying to get people in trouble, or we're trying to get people caught up in things that they shouldn't be caught up in because, you know, we told them you don't need a license, or you don't need a birth certificate, or you don't. For real, you don't. You don't need those things. Why? Because we're Aboriginal indigenous people, and we've been here before the colonial forces came here. Drew Ali told the Moors they'd been in this land for at least 10,000 years. No, he never said that. He said the flag. Well, flags don't make themselves. People make flags. So obviously the people had to be here 10,000 years if the flag's been here 10,000 years. Real simple mathematics. It's not, you don't need the added chamber for that. Right? As Aboriginal indigenous people, we do not have to take anything from these colonial powers. But the fact that we're under occupation by colonial powers, and you already know how they do, you already saw how they kill people, take their organs and stuff like that. To eliminate, you know, getting your ass kicked for no reason, maybe you want to learn how to live within contracts and take some of those documents instead of trying to fight a colonial force when Drew Ali said don't even carry a pocket knife. So anybody talking about military activity, well, the Moors should, you know, start killing Europeans because they took their government. Well, Drew Ali said don't carry a pocket knife. Like, what are you talking about? No, he said don't carry. He didn't say, you know, at the house in the vault not to have your shotguns and your 38s and your Glocks and whatever like that. You have the stuff at the house. You know, as Aboriginal indigenous people, we have a right to bear arms. That doesn't mean that you gotta leave the house with that stuff. But, you know, nobody's not saying don't have it. But people get mixed messages. People don't study. People want to be told stuff. And again, Drew Ali said, man knows not by being told. So why are people expecting to be told everything? Being told everything is not to your benefit. Studying is to your benefit. Hearing something and being inspired to go do research is what it's really about. It's really about being inspired to go do research, not being inspired to act because you heard somebody say something on YouTube and you respect them, so I'm just going to go do it. No, you go research what you heard on YouTube. I'm not just going to go do some stuff just because somebody said, go do that. You're just going to go do that. It doesn't work like that with anything else, so why would it work like that with this? Why are people just going to go do stuff because, oh, Taj said I don't need a license, so I'm just going to go throw my license away. And now you're getting divorced and stuff like that because you can't feed your family. You had a good-ass job or whatever, but you're a Moor, so you quit your job because they didn't want to accept your nationality card and all this type of stuff. That's stupid stuff. That's idiotic. That you're going to hear something today and tomorrow you're going to implement it. But you don't do that with anything else. Goddamn Dr. Sebi will tell you, oh yeah, herbs and whatever like that. You're just going to cold turkey, cut off everything that you're eating, and then just go put $5 million into his website? You're not going to go check nothing out to see what that stuff's about or nothing like that? So why is it any different with this? Right? And this is the issue that people are having out there when we talk about people getting arrested and, you know, and then these non-active temple Moors use that as a way to get people to not be active. But see those Moors, what those Moors teach gets you arrested. No, people's dumbass gets their self arrested. People doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing gets them arrested. People violating the Prophet's orders gets them arrested. That has nothing to do with what we're teaching that gets people arrested. People acting premature with this information gets them arrested. Because I know Moors who've been on this information that's never been arrested. And how come they never got arrested? Why? How come this Moor been, new Moor, just came into the information, said, you know what, forget this, I don't need a license, sent the license back to the people, who he got it from, and uses nationality card to travel and gets stopped, has been stopped on numerous occasions and never been arrested. How come? Well, those Moors, there's 50 Moors over there that got arrested. Well, I don't care about those 50 Moors that got arrested. Clearly, they weren't doing what they're supposed to do. That's why their ass got arrested. If they were doing what they're supposed to do, they wouldn't have got arrested. And what the brother that didn't get arrested was doing was studying. He was changing his mindset so his conditions outside of himself will change. That's why he doesn't get arrested. He didn't just hear something and then go do it. Heard something, digested what he heard, went and did some research on what he heard, realized that what he heard was real because there's all this information out here to back up what he heard, and then started implementing based on what he knows. In an intelligent tone. It's another reason why Moors get arrested. Drawley told Moors, that red flannel is going to get you in trouble. That tongue in your mouth. Don't know how to shut the hell up. Always want to prove something to somebody. You have nothing to prove once you got your fez on. You got nothing to prove once you know the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Nothing to prove. We're not doing this to prove something to Way L, the people who sent him, or any of the other non-active temple Moors out there. We're not doing this for them. We're doing this to get information out to the people on this information so they can look at it from the right perspective. And, nothing's wrong with being a non-active temple Moor. You know what I mean? If you want to just sit at the temple, and if you want to just go feed homeless and go plant trees and that's it, that's what your Moorish movement is about, yeah, you know what I mean? Do your thing. But there's way more exhilarating things that we can be doing with this information than just merely the things that you see so-called non-active temple Moors do. Way more exhilarating things that we can do with this information. Right? We wanted to also put on the record, there's an article by Brian Glick, Brian Glick, COINTELPRO revised spying and disruption. And we wanted to put some things on the record with regard to this operation called COINTELPRO that the master teacher Taj Tariq Bey has numerous times put on the record that majority of these grand sheiks that are in these temples today are down with this so-called intelligence program called COINTELPRO, FBI stuff, right? What was COINTELPRO? COINTELPRO was the FBI's secret program to undermine the popular upsurge which swept the country during the 1960s. Though the name stands for Counterintelligence Program, the targets were not enemy spies. The FBI set out to eliminate quote-unquote radical political opposition inside the U.S. When traditional methods of repression, exposure, blatant harassment, and prosecution for political crimes failed to counter the growing insurgency and even helped to fuel it, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, took the law into its own hands and secretly used fraud and force to sabotage constitutionally protected political activity. Its methods ranged far beyond the surveillance and amounted to a domestic version of the covert action for which the CIA has become infamous throughout the world. Right? So the purpose of this intelligence program was to undermine the popular upsurge. Right? The popular political upsurge in 2016 is people waking up to their truth about their Moorish nationality and their birthrights. The popular political upsurge happening in 2016 is people not taking BS and standing up for their rights. The popular political upsurge in 2016 is people knowing that there was an individual by the name of Prophet Noble Juali that came and brought them their nation, brought them their flag, and brought them everything that it takes to save a nation, and told them to go save themselves with what he brought them. He didn't tell them go join some non-active Moor science temple. He didn't tell them go join some passive Moors in praying to Noble Juali and using the Holy Quran like how Christians use a Bible. He told the Moors to study, study, study. And when you have studied and asked me what to study next, I would reply, study yourselves. And when you study yourself, you'll find out about yourself. And when you find out about yourself, you'll find out that you have a higher self and a lower self. And that if you study hard enough, you will automatically jump to being your higher self or being yourself, which being yourself translates to law as in propria persona, or being in your own proper person, not being some nigger slave to somebody else, whether they call themselves Grand Sheik, Grand Governor, President, preacher, pastor, imam, rabbi, whatever, whoever. Once you're awake to the truth about yourself, then you would be yourself. And COINTELPRO has been activated again by people who might not even be getting a check. These individuals might not be working for the FBI and getting a check from them every month. But they are so consumed and conditioned by their lower self thinking that they undermine their people and undermine the upsurge of the political activity that needs to be happening right now. They want to keep the people docile. They want to keep the people passive. They want to keep rubbing under the people's chin, keep them, curling their tail between their legs, talking about, oh yeah, that feels good or whatever. Right? When the only reason that's being done is so that they can get you closer to the slaughterhouse. Right? Who were the main targets? The most intense operations were directed against the black movement, particularly the Black Panther Party. This resulted from FBI and police racism, the black community's lack of material resources for fighting back, and the tendency of the media and whites in general to ignore or tolerate attacks on black groups. It also reflected government and corporate fear of the black movement because of its militance, its broad domestic base, and international support. Its historic role in galvanizing the entire 60s upsurge. Many other activists who organized against U.S. intervention abroad or for racial, gender, or class justice at home also came under covert attack. The targets were in no way limited to those who used physical force or took up arms. Martin Luther King, David Dellinger, Philip Berrigan, and other leading pacifists were high on the list, as were projects directly reported by the Bill of Rights, such as alternative newspapers. What effects did it have? COINTELPRO's impact is difficult to fully assess since we do not know the entire scope of what was done, especially against such pivotal targets as Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, SNCC, and SDS. And we have no generally accepted analysis of the 60s. It is clear, however, that 1. COINTELPRO distorted the public's view of radical groups in a way that helped to isolate them and to legitimize open political repression. 2. It reinforced and exacerbated the weaknesses of these groups, making it very difficult for the inexperienced activists of the 60s to learn from their mistakes and build solid, durable organizations. 3. Its violent assaults and covert manipulation eventually helped to push some of the most committed and experienced groups to withdraw from grassroots organizations and to substitute armed actions which isolated them and deprived the movement of much of its leadership. 4. COINTELPRO often convinced its victims to blame themselves and each other for the problems it created, leaving a legacy of cynicism and despair that persists today. By operating covertly, the FBI and police were able to severely weaken domestic political opposition without shaking the conviction of most U.S. people that they live in a democracy with free speech and the rule of law. Peace, more. All right. If you have to hang up, you could just hang up. I'm just killing this class right now. Yeah. On Ustream. Yeah. All right. So all right, Mark. All right, yo. Hold on. I'm going to just put you on. All right. So as we go through the effects that COINTELPRO has or has had, we realize that those same effects are the things that these individuals who are talking against active Moors, right, are causing right now, right? Distorting the public's view of radical groups in a way that helped to isolate them and to legitimize open political repression. This is what the position of Wael and all these other people who are taking this position against Moors that are active. This is the effects that they're having. They're distorting the public's view. Remember, they already have a perspective in their mind as to what this is. Why? Because they work for somebody else. They don't work for themselves. They don't work for Moorish Science Temple of America. They don't work for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Their duty and their position is to get people to be lawful abiders of the Moorish Science Temple and sit in the seat and listen to the head guy say stuff. That's not what this movement was founded for. This movement was founded to make our people better citizens. This movement was founded to make sure that everybody's adept in every school of thought. Doesn't matter whether it's part of Moorish Science Temple curriculum or not. Noble Drew Ali said study, study, study. He didn't say study only this and this and this. He said study. And that's study is a broad statement. It's not narrow. So for people to take the position of making this narrow and have people think, you know, Moorish Science Temple is only about this and this and this and then that's it. They're playing people. Just like they've been playing people. Why we're in the situation that we're in right now, why everybody's not a member of the Moorish Science Temple. Because everybody should be a member of the Moorish Science Temple by now. I mean, Elijah Muhammad was part of Moorish Science Temple. Then he left and told everybody go be black Asiatics. Marcus Garvey got visited by Noble Drew Ali when he was in Atlanta prison. But now all the Garveyites are out here talking about, you know, United Negro Improvement Association in 2016. You're still Negroes in 2016? You ever change your position? When this man got visited by Noble Drew Ali, when this man put in his book that the only way that these so-called Negroes are going to be happy is if they're restored to their own nationality, why would he say that in the letter before he got deported if he didn't have connections or some type of information, some type of discussion with Noble Drew Ali about a true nationality to make that statement? And then now you have so-called Moors now that are supposed to be uplifting fallen humanity, telling people they can't be a Moor unless they join this organization called Moorish Science Temple. BS. Because Noble Drew Ali didn't teach that. Noble Drew Ali told these Moors, all these Moors, that you're Moorish American because you're descendants of Moroccans born in America. He never told any Moors that you're Moorish American because you joined the Moorish Science Temple. Yeah, well, Act 6 said that. Okay, let's see what Act 6 says. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. With us, all members of the Moorish Science Temple must proclaim their nationality. So clearly, you have a nationality before you're a member of the Moorish Science Temple. If you're claiming that to be a member. If you're claiming to be a member of Moorish Science Temple, and Noble Drew Ali said in Act 6 that all members must proclaim their nationality, that means you have a nationality before you're a member. It doesn't say here that with us all members must proclaim their nationality to be Moors. You're proclaiming your nationality because you already have one. Because he told you what your nationality is in the 101 questionnaire. You're Moorish American. You're not Negro, black, or colored. You don't need Moorish Science Temple for that. And trust me, on numerous occasions, just for the simple fact of people like Way L and all these people, I was willing to give up the Grand Sheikh seat. Because really and truly, these people did a disservice to the Moorish movement, and it's turned into a real headache having a Moorish Science Temple and running a Moorish Science Temple. Because people don't even know what the hell this is. These people have caused so much confusion with this that they don't even know what this is. I was ready to hang up the charter, burn the charter, just so nobody else gets it to do any corruption, and we just be Moors. Create a body politic amongst ourselves and just be Moors. And the Moors here said, no, you can't do that. You brought this here, whatever like that. So, okay, all right, well, all right. You people are the ones who are in charge, so I guess I'm going to have to sit in the seat and do whatever it is that y'all want me to do. But believe me, that's why we tell people today, don't worry about starting charter and all that stuff and be member of more, start up a temple and all that stuff. Don't even go there. Because as soon as you go there, you're going to have to deal with people like Way L and all these dirty Moors, whose position is to try to rule you when this is birthrights. That's just like in the movie last night I was watching, the new Die Hard or whatever, right? And these two guys were in dealings, right? One guy turned political, whatever like that. Other guy said, nah, I'm not even going that road or whatever like that. I'm going to stay doing dirt. And they had a bad breakup or whatever like that. Political guy set up the other guy, right? Had this guy in jail or whatever because he has some secret letter or something like that that has the names of everybody who was involved with their fraud or whatever, and he hid that letter as collateral for if anything happened to him. Now they want the letter. So political guy goes to check dude in prison and tells him, you know what I mean? Why don't you just give up the letter? Nah, sorry man, I ain't giving up the letter. You better give up the letter. I'm not giving up the letter. I'm going to go to court tomorrow and I'm going to frickin' put everything on the record or whatever. Political guy tells him, do you know that I own everybody in every court around here? Jailbird guy looks at him, looks back at his book or whatever, looks at him again, and says, you don't own me. And that was the end of conversation. Ain't nothing to talk about anymore. That's the position that these guys are taking. Want to own people. Want to own people's birthright. Want to tell them how they should honor Noble Drew Ali. Want to tell them what they should study. Noble Drew Ali didn't put any reins on anybody on what to study. Noble Drew Ali said study, 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 and sent the Moors out to go do whatever it is that y'all gonna do. Just make sure, you know what I mean, you come back home, pay your dues, show your allegiance, and everything's gonna be alright. But they don't want to do that. They want to play like the priesthood is alive and well still. They want to play like they own people. They cannot own you. Don't let them own you. All those temples right now, all those temples that are pushing church, pushing divine only, pushing national only, pushing passivity, pushing, you know, you can't be a Moor unless you're whatever, pushing 501c3, we got our tax thing from the IRS, that's why we're tax exempt, but they never ever show their nationality card, pushing nationality card that Noble Drew Ali had since 1913 to 1929, and then they're going to stores and then they're putting that down talking about, yeah, tax exempt, and they're not getting anything because, you know, they're not recognizing that. Because first of all, no picture on it, no description of whose card this is. Why would somebody accept that as identification? Maybe to your little club called Moorish Science Temple of America, you can use that, but you can't use that card in the real world. I know, I used to have one of those paper cards and they don't work in the real world. It's real simple. And if they do work in the real world, if they are accepted, it's because of what Noble Drew Ali did in 1913 that's still recognized today. Why some places you can go and they'll accept that paper nationality card as their identification. Right? It reinforced and exacerbated the weaknesses of these groups, making it very difficult for the unexperienced activists of the 60s, now the 2016s, to learn from their mistakes and build solid, durable organizations. Again, as soon as you go into this place called Moorish Science Temple of America today, and you realize that they got church going on, they're singing hymns to Noble Drew Ali, they're going to tell you, yeah, we teach civics, but then they're going to tell you partial, P-A-R-T-I-A-L. When you look in the law dictionary, you're not going to find that word called partial in there. It's not a word that's a law term. clearly these people aren't dealing with civics. Yeah, civics means government. So how come you guys aren't being governmental? How come you guys are going to mayors to go get proclamations signed? How about you sign your own goddamn proclamation? Why are you going to some mayor of a democracy to get them to sign a proclamation, and then you're proud that mayor signed the proclamation when you're the government? You're the Aboriginal Indigenous government that sanctioned those people that you're running to get proclamations signed. And want to know, how come we go at certain Moors? Because they're taking the side of the democracy. There's not no republic out there that's president whoever, or governor or mayor or whatever. That's not republic. That's democracy. But they're going to say, oh yeah, we enforce constitution. That's civics. Yeah, but civics says Republican form of government. All those people who work for U.S. Corporation and Canada Corporation push democracy. So why are you siding with them? Unless you're an agent, paid or not paid, that works for those people. And you get whatever it is that you get, you know what I mean? Because, you see all these Moors, they don't got no job, but they got new hat, they got new suit, they got new shoes, and they got all this new stuff or whatever like that. They got no job though, but they got all this new stuff. They got new car, they got Bentleys and stuff like that, driving around talking about, status correction works and all this type of stuff. These people are agents working for the other side. Some get paid, some don't. But know for a fact that anybody trying to put Taj Street Bey, throw him under the bus, Sabir Bey, throw him under the bus, Cujo, throw him under the bus, Hakeem Bey, throw him under the bus, anybody talking negative about RV Bey publications, know that those people are agents and they're working for the democracy. Know that those people are really the anti-government people. That they're talking about we're the anti-government and we're the sovereign citizens and all that stuff. We're not no sovereign citizens. We're sovereign. We got a nation. But we're not sovereign citizens. Because we know that sovereign citizen comes out of the posse comitatus. With that's common knowledge. That Europeans are the only ones that push that sovereign citizen stuff. But again, right? Reinforced and exacerbated the weaknesses of these groups, right? What's the weakness of the Moorish Science Temple right now? What's the weakness of the Moorish Divine and National Movement right now? All these fakers that nobody wants to talk about, but lets them get on the stage to go debate. All these fakers that nobody wants to deal with, that these people are fakers, but want to talk about unity with all the Moors. All the Moors need to come together. Who's coming together with dirty Moors who's working for COINTELPRO and working for FBI and CIA? We're coming together with them for what? The weakness are those people. The weakness are the individuals who come into this information, and they're coming into this information trying to seek some benefit. There's not no welfare program. Sorry, we don't have any benefits for you in the Moorish movement. You're going to work for what you want. There's not no handouts. There's not no, we're going to give you the writ, and then you just give this writ to anybody, and then that's going to, get them off your back. No, that's not what this is about. This is about you getting off your ass and going and studying. This is about you stop being lazy nigger and want your feet up and just sit there and do nothing and get stuff. That's not how this works. If you want to be lazy and just sit there and go to those little passive temples, go sing hymns to Noble Juali and all that, if that's what you want. If you want to be passive, there's places for you. But don't be passive talking BS about active Moors who, like Noble Juali said, risking the most, risking up to your very life to defend this. Half these people have no guts. They're cowards. They never stand up in front of one of these colonial magi, one of these colonial high priests, and stand up on their rights. They'll never stand up to one of these highwaymen. They want you to come in the temple and then you just sit in the temple, and then that keeps them safe. Because now they don't have to go fight for anything or whatever. They can just stand at their little red carpet pulpit BS and push this idea that that's what Noble Drew Ali brought. Us just being in this temple, and then, when you leave the temple, you just go pay nigger tickets and go pay nigger fines and nigger taxes and keep doing all the nigger stuff. But when you come to the temple, then you'll be Moors here because this is the sanctuary for the Moors. Forget all that BS. Right? The confusion in the Moorish movement is because of Moors. Forget the European. The European already knows this. We already told people that we went to Washington, they got Moors all over the goddamn place. They got fezzes and turbans all over the place. So they know who the Moors are, what the Moors represent, and the power of being Moors. It's stupid people who want to play this, we don't know what, if you studied, you would know. Stop asking, especially when we have put on the record already, right? Everybody's going to say, yeah, we know Taj and whatever like that. Taj already told y'all. Anybody that calls our people black work for the other side. Anybody. Anybody. I don't care. We don't even need to mention names. Anybody who continues to call our people black work for the other side. Because we're not black. So the fact that they're doing that, that's a sign to let you know that these people are selling you out. Nah, they don't want to go with that because black is the cosmic connection of the... All right. All right. But don't speak certain Moors out your mouth. Oh, you can't be a Moor unless you come to the temple. That's agent talk. Anybody talking like that. Anybody talking about their, yeah, we teach civics, but they're on some religious BS. With regard to this information, make sure you send a message to those people. Yo, don't mention Kudro's name. Don't mention Taj, RV Bay, and none of that. Don't say nothing about us. Because we mind our business. Right? We don't cater to you clowns. Right? I take it on myself to address certain things with regard to people who are talking BS about who I consider my teachers. They're not them. They don't care. They're doing stuff right now. They got class right now in Philly. They don't care about this going on. They had class today. Teaching, learning, studying. They're not paying attention to no dirty Moors. Right? Good brother Nagi L and Jonathan Bay with the Moorish Directory website. Right? We said we're going to put that Dirty Moors page up there and list all the Dirty Moors so nobody could have any type of questions as to who they are, why are they, whatever like that. If their name's on that list, if their website's on that list, know that they're Dirty Moors, or we wouldn't put it out there. Why else we put it out there if it's to not let people know who these people are? Stay the hell away from these people. But nah. People want to still go to them. People want to still, oh yeah, unity amongst the Moors, so we're going to go sit down and talk with them, and we'll see, we'll work together. You're not working together with dirty Moors. It ain't happening. I think Noble Drew Ali left. Dirty Moors around him. Everybody sat there and watched that Moor chase the Prophet with a knife. And everybody just sat there. Nobody stood up and did anything. Put yourself in Noble Drew Ali's shoes right now. You're at a temple meeting and a dude's chasing you around with a knife. And everybody in the temple is watching. You gonna take these more serious? You really gonna take these more serious? The man realized that he had nowhere to go. The man realized that everybody sold out. Except the select few. Very few. Very few, so much that he had fingers left over. Very few. When you check the literature, you realize how few it was. When you check the FBI papers, you realize how few Moors were back in Noble Drew in Noble Drew Ali's time. And we know for a fact that one of the few was Emile Ill and CMB. We know those two for sure were two of the ones that didn't sell out. We know for a fact that those two are two that didn't sell out. And guess what? When you go talk to all these Moors out here, who they got, when you look back in the record and you ask them about the record, who they going to tell you that you shouldn't listen to? Don't listen to Emilio and don't listen to CMB. That should tell you something. That should wake you up to the fact of what's been going on. How deep the sellout of the Moorish movement is. Why, Sabir is going to have his show and they're going to let people call in for hours and complain about, I went to this temple and it was a church, and I went to this temple and the Grand Sheikh said I can't come in the door because of whatever, and I went to this temple and they said no sisters allowed, and I went into this temple and they said whatever, because it's become a poppy show. Moorish Science Temple, 99% of them are BS. 1% of the Moorish Science temples are doing what they're supposed to do. What's that? Teaching the people the truth about their nationality and birthrights, period. That's it. Forget about all the other stuff. All the other stuff, there's so much information out there, you can go anywhere and find out about the other information. But the inside information, the information that the adepts have, that they're supposed to be given to the people, which is the truth and the divine truth. Very, very, very few temples are doing that. Very few. 98% of the temples have been co-opted, infiltrated, working for the other side, getting deals with the IRS, getting deals with state whoever to send stuff to the mayor to make the mayor recognize your Moorish whatever. Mayor, a municipal head. A municipal head. Remember, municipal is Roman. A municipal head is who signed all those proclamations saying that, oh yeah, Moorish American Week, and make sure you recognize the Moorish Americans because the Moorish Americans are the whatever. But if they're backing up everything that Noble Drew Ali said in those goddamn proclamations, why don't you guys just back the prophet then? Why you need a mayor to verify the same stuff that the prophet told you is what the mayor's saying? But they're going to go to their mayor to go get some freaking approval that they're Moors. The mayor's going to justify some stuff to them. And then people don't want to recognize that when I speak from the perspective of forget these dirty Moors or whatever like that, hang these people from light poles or whatever. As soon as you hear them talking crap or whatever, do like we used to do in the reggae dance bottle the DJ and get him off the goddamn set because he's playing crap. Bottle the DJ. Bottle the DJ booth. Make the DJ leave the dance and let's get somebody up there who's qualified to be up there. Because half these people aren't qualified because they work for the other side. And they've taken a position of sell out the people's birthright to the corporate state by making them go get licenses. Making them go pay taxes. Making them pay fines. Under the guise of, yeah, that's the government. That's not no government, that's municipal corporation. Which is part of a state corporation, which is part of the national corporation that's owned by the Pope and all these other people. And they're playing this game with people's birthright. And then the people, you know, they don't want to realize that they're getting sold out to by their own. When the Europeans will tell you that. The Europeans will tell you that we're trying to help you guys get out of slavery. It's the overseers that's keeping you guys enslaved. Go check the record. How much Europeans tried to help Negroes get out of slavery. Hide them in coffins, hide them in their basement, use their whatever connections that they got to try to get them off the plantation, whatever. Europeans. And then it's the Asiatic who's there with the whip, telling nigger pick and all that stuff. Go watch the Sankofa movie. I'm not lying to you. Let me all know. But are people love enslavement? Are people love enslavement? Are people love to be passive? Because that's how they've been trained. By their own. With turbans and fezzes on. That take their turbans and fezzes off, start some other organization to keep the people even more fucking docile. And then don't know what the hell's going on. Now they have no idea what's going on. So they go on YouTube, they hear something, it triggers something in their memory of their past lives or whatever like that, and then they run out, go do some stuff, get themselves caught up in some BS because, you know, being premature. When any more who puts out this information tells people, make sure you study. We tell people, go on RV Base, stay there for a year. That's why we started putting that out there, because people like to play. Well, I went to RV Bay and I downloaded the thing and then I signed it and then I sent it in and then I went out there and did right to travel and they took my property. Well, did you have your own plates on that property? Well, no. No, I had state. So why would you exercise right to travel with state plates? What kind of jackass move is that? No, well, I was watching the video and then... Duh. You didn't study nothing? You just watched the video and then you just went out and said that you're qualified. Really. You just watched some video or whatever. And in a week, you became addict. That you can go out there and exercise some rights. Half these fantasy worlds that these Moors are living in, that they don't understand that we're under occupation. And I mean, you know, I understand. You know, some people are cowards. Some people are bitch-ass niggers. So they're going to make you go pay your taxes like a good nigger. They're going to tell you, go get a license like a good nigger. You know, just put your fez on, you know what I mean? So they know that you're more, but go get your license or whatever. But they're not going to tell you to reserve your rights on that contract. They're going to tell you, sign your life away. You're a Moor now. Just go sign it or whatever like that. Selling you out. And don't forget, there's no highest bidder. You know, China's already ready to take, you know, jump in the seat. The ownership of this corporation called U.S. and Canada. Because, you know, they got Volvo and Range Rover here too that got bought out. But they're not talking about that. Not going to talk about that. I'm not talking about all these foreign countries / corporations buying property of this dissolved corporation over here. They're going to play their little game. But, you know, let me get off the soapbox and let's deal with the matter at hand, because we need to address some things that were said.
Islam, peace and greetings to you all. This is Sheikh Wayel, aka Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. Now, I just got off of a phone call with Brother Sabir Bey on his radio show out in Los Angeles, California. I was invited by a sister in my inbox. I just made a post on Facebook because I was under the impression that this particular call was for the purpose of me, Sabir, and Taj Tariq Bey to clear up any, mishaps that there may be, because I was...
No. The host didn't invite him, right? Somebody inboxed him. Some sister inboxed him. And he was under the impression that this is a call where he's going to go on there and, discuss whatever with Taj and Sabir. And you're not nobody. What are you talking about? You have to be somebody to get on Sabir Bey's show. You're not somebody. You're just some rambling Moor that doesn't want to deal with the facts, but you're going to talk to him, aka Mr. Facts or whatever, but you're not dealing with no facts. The fact of the matter is everybody knows that if you want to go on Sabir's show and, you're not qualified, you're an outsider, if he didn't invite you, then you pay to go on the show. Well, I heard you on the show. How come you got on the show and how come you played your music? Because I paid. I put my money in the pot to make sure my stuff gets played on that show. Because I know that if it's played on Sabir Bey's show, it's being heard by, just average Negroes. It's being heard by Moors. It's being heard by prominent people in whatever industry, entertainment, music, sports, or whatever like that. Right? So logically, it made sense, put some money in the pot, make sure that my stuff gets played on that show. But nah, these people think that, we're laying out some red carpet for them to come on a platform like the Sabir Bey show and talk their BS. It's not happening. And that was very ignorant on your part, Wayl, to think that you're in so good with Sabir Bey, you're in so good, that he's just going to let you come on the show and you and him and Taj are going to be on the show talking for some hour or something like that. Get the hell out of here with your foolishness, bro. Talking BS. You don't got no clout like that. You're not nobody like that. You're not that important. Get off your high horse, right? Get off your high horse. You're only a mere sheik, because we're still trying to find out who made you Grand Sheik. We're still trying to find out who made you Grand Sheik, because you don't ever bring up those people's names who made you Grand Sheik. So we just want to put it out there once again, because at one time you were Supreme Grand Sheik. Now you're Sheik Wayl, but then you're Grand Sheik, and we just want to be clear with who made you Grand Sheik, because we know that sheiks are born, not made. But Grand Sheik, that's a title that's ordained. That's a title that's given to somebody. Like, I was made Grand Sheik by Kenny Umar Bey and Dawid Ali El. They made me Grand Sheik. They put me through the Adab chamber so I can be Grand Sheik, so we can take Moorish Science Temple and bring it back up here to Canaanland and start exercising this information, start getting this information out to let the people know about Noble Drew Ali out here, because they had the article from the Moorish Guide newspaper that we put on the RV Bay Publications website that Noble Drew Ali came to Toronto and he wanted to establish things out here, but then he got assassinated. So they saw it as prophecy that, damn, we've been exercising as Moors for all these years in Mecca, and this is the first time that somebody from quote-unquote Canada, big quotes, Canada, came to a temple to find out about Noble Drew Ali. This must be prophecy. So they gave us a charter. We don't have to buy no charter or nothing like that. They gave us the charter. They made me Grand Sheik. They made Hanif El Assistant Grand Sheik. And then they sent us back with everything that we need in order to exercise as Moorish Science Temple of America. And we're still here exercising as Moorish Science Temple of America. So Grand Sheiks are made. Sheiks are born. So Sheik Way El, you got no issues with that. You want to be Sheik or whatever, Sheiks are born, ain't no big deal. You used to call yourself Supreme Grand Sheik when you were running that Moorish American Party BS. And somebody must have slapped you to make you drop Supreme off that Grand Sheik stuff. So now the next question is, who's your Grand Sheik? So that's what we're putting out there for people. Whenever you see Way L or whatever, make sure you question him on who his Grand Sheik is that made him a Grand Sheik, and who put him through the Adab chamber, and what Adab chamber of what temple did he go to in order to be Grand Sheik. That's just inside Adab chamber stuff that, you know, average people don't know, that they should know, because the priesthood is dead and there ain't no secrets. Noble Drew Ali took away all the secrets, so people should not, you know, not know. You should know how people become Grand Sheik. We're letting you know. They have to go through the Adab chamber. When they go through the Adab chamber, then they become qualified to be titled Grand Sheik. If they never went through the Adab chamber, don't listen to them about their Grand Sheik, nothing. Those guys are imposters, fakers, trying to pretend like they're something when they're not. Just like this so-called fake government saying that it's a government when it's not government. It's a private corporation that's owned by the Pope and the Queen and whoever else is involved with that royal family incest.
Accused of slandering these men, which is false. You go back and read my Facebook post. There's no slander there. There's no defamation. There's no painting anyone in a false light. So that was bogus, and this would have gave myself time to clear the air.
You don't need you to clear no air because you're slandering, right? Because we teach, be what you know. So if you're going to say that their teachings are, and give thumbs down to our teachings, then you're giving thumbs down to us, because we are our information that we talk about. I don't know how y'all, what world y'all come from, but the world that we come from, whatever we talk about, we actually exercise that. We are what we know. We are what we teach. So if you're defaming and slanderous against our teachings, then you're slanderous against us. So don't say that it's not slander because I didn't say Cujo's an idiot and I didn't say that Taj is incompetent and you guys shouldn't listen to him or whatever like that. We don't care if you said that about the individuals. You said that about the information. And we are the message that we bring. So if you're talking negative about the message that we bring, then you're talking negative about us. And if you're talking negative about, again, we'll put it out there, anybody got some BS to say about RV Bay Publications, Moorish Heritage and History School, or Taj Tariq Bey, I have choice words for you. And I'm going to let you know that you're full of BS for talking against those master teachers. Right? And we don't want people to get into the, yeah, Cujo, that's my master teacher. He taught me. Don't even put me in them categories. Because we already put it up on the videos that our master teachers have 15 plus years of experience in the topics related to Moorish science. I only have 8, so I'm not near master level yet. So don't even look at it like Cujo's trying to side with I'm a student of those people. And I have respect and high honors for my teachers. And when people start dissing my teachers and talking BS about my teachers, I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to address you. Right? That's just what it is. No different than if it's anything else. Right? We hold these people in the highest regard. Because they got our minds to a place where our minds have never been in our entire life. Just based on information. And they did it out of love. They did it out of wanting to see these conditions change out here. You can't talk BS about RV Bay Publications. When we could look at Brother Mizraim L and know that look what that information did for him. Look how he turned out because he was born a Moor. You telling me that this information is BS? Look where he turned out. Look where Dr. Hannibal turned out because Taj Tariq Bey is his dad. Look where he turned out. And he's in the hip-hop community and all that stuff. He's not just on some more science and that's it only. Look how they turned out. Right? And everybody else out there who brought this information to their offspring at a young age and groomed them into being the masters that they are today. So don't talk BS about, not slandering or whatever. We are the message that we bring. We are the message. If you go on khalifamedia.com and you buy one of Cujo's books, that's Cujo you're talking to directly. That's Cujo in your hand. When you buy one of my albums, that's Cujo talking in your ear through your headphones. That's not some secondary thing. That's the actual individual. So we're the message that we bring. So don't try to play this game of, you're not slandering nobody. This is not about hate and all that stuff, but then talking about you hate the information that we're presenting. Because clearly you're not relating the two when the two are related. Right? So don't play games. Because we don't deal with games. This is serious. This is real serious. Right? We're, like we said, people risking their life with regard to this information. You know what I mean? People risking their life to stand up for this. And if you're not worthy, if you're not willing to put your life on the line for the Moorish movement, then shut the hell up and stay in your corner and teach whatever you teach to the little minions, punks, clowns, or whatever that want to follow you. But don't mention the master teachers. Don't bring them up. Just stay in your little corner.
Told Brother Sabir Bey that I had nothing personal against him at all, him or Taj. That the information that they teach, however, causes confusion in the minds of those who are seeking the Moorish Science Temple of America. They are causing a lot of confusion, and I addressed that publicly. So I called into the show. I was given 2 minutes. The host was gracious enough to let me go over the 2 minutes.
Now, just again, you, Lord Abba, you, the host, was gracious enough to let you go over 2 minutes. The host also said that if you go over 2 minutes, you need to pay. Did you make your donation, Lord Abba, because you went over 2 minutes? I know I made my donation. So, you know what I mean? Can't talk any BS about me, you know? Can't talk no BS about me. Right? I made my donation to the Sabir Bay show. Right? I made my donation to Sharif Bay's martial arts school. That's why you can't talk no BS about me. You might talk BS about Taj and he's not sovereign no more. He used to be on that. But you're not mentioning Kudro because he got his $100 donation to his martial arts school that he was very grateful for. And wanted to know how come how come so many other Moors didn't donate to the school who live right around his martial arts school. Put that out there. So just make sure, Lord Abba, that you go cash in your little whatever that you got to cash in and make sure you make your donation to the Sabir Bay show because it's on the record. It's on the record that anybody who talks over 2 minutes has to make a donation. Let's see if you make your donation. Or if you're going to keep playing the game like, you know, you're not down with what we're teaching, but you want to get on the platform that the Moors who you're not down with teaching you. Why you want to get on our platform? Why? For what? And you don't want to make a donation. You just want to come sliding on the platform so you can continue to cause the confusion that you're claiming that we're causing. Because I'm not confused. Any other Moors out there that I talk to that's been on RV Bay publications, they're not confused. They know exactly what it is that's going on. The only people that are confused are the dumb people who are trying to, you know, come into this information to get out of their nigger stuff that they got themselves into, that they don't want to deal with. That's the only confused people. Sincere people who really want to learn, they're not confused when they go on rvbaypublications.com. They're not confused when they listen to... I mean, you know, you might be confused for a couple of days because it's new information. But when you start studying, the ball gets rolling, there's no confusion. The confusion is eliminated. So the fact that you're going to bring up that, you know, we're causing confusion when we're some of the most competent people out here. Why would anything be confusing unless the people who are digesting the information are trying to swallow without chewing? And, you know, if you want to just swallow dumplings without chewing them, then hey, you know what I mean? You know, no Heimlich maneuver because you're a dumbass. Because you should chew dumplings before, you know, you swallow. So don't be coming on no video talking about we're causing confusion. We're competent. Matter of fact, that word competent wouldn't even be around if it wasn't for us. Yeah, nobody talk about competence until active Moors start saying competence. You never hear Moors talk about enforce the Constitution until active Moors started talking about enforce the Constitution. You never heard the terms of civics until Moors that are active started saying the words civics. So again, you guys could play your little game, but know that target's on you when you people open your mouth. Because I didn't even know about your little BS video. But, you know, active Moors, active Moor. One of the Moors, Anne was a sister that seen your BS and said, hey, you might want to watch this because certain people call in your name or whatever. Right? Why? Why'd you do that? Because there's unity amongst active Moors. There's not no unity with dirty Moors. There's not no unity with passive Moors, religious Moors, non-active temple Moors. There's no unity with them. They all got issues. They all got problems. This one doesn't like that one or whatever like that. Active Moors, we're in our own lane. Like Noble Drew Ali said, we're on the high road. Looking at all the stuff on the low road, just laughing at you guys on the low road with your BS. You know what I mean? We're yelling from the high road right now to the low road. Don't think that we're coming down on the low road to deal with Way L and all the BS that they're dealing with. Like I said, Moors got class today. They're not concerned with Way L and the BS that he's talking about. Talked with Sabir earlier. He's not concerned with this guy made a video and all that stuff calling him out. He's touring. He's got a video, a documentary that he just put out. That he's touring all over the place. Got time to worry with dirty Moors? No time for them. But we're going to use them as a beating stick so people can learn.
Sabir Space said his piece and he tried to frame it as if my point would be coming from a religious point. So he did what's known in the art of fallacy, tainting the pool, meaning everybody listen to what he's about to say, but take it with a grain of salt because it's coming from a religious mindset. He played a clip of Malcolm X, etc. Anyway, called in, I said my piece, and I asked Brother Sabir, when could we have a discussion? Can me, him, and Taj have a discussion about these differences? We have ideological differences. Everybody's a Moor that looks like us. Well, we know that. But Prophet Noble Drew Ali distinguished who a true Moor was. And the opposite of a true Moor is a false Moor or a fake Moor, or what I've dubbed the faker Moor.
So, true Moors, everybody's a Moor, but then there's true Moors and fake Moors. But I thought everybody's a Moor. If everybody's a Moor, and Noble Drew Ali was specific that he said loyal Moors, right? Said loyal Moors, said members, right? He was very specific in drawing the line between the Moors that were with him and the Moors that were niggers. That he said, don't call them niggers, call them dirty Moors. So as soon as you hear these people talking about true Moors, fake Moors, and all this type of stuff, know that they're working on the other side, trying to cause that division. Because Noble Drew Ali said all Moors are active. They're not going to quote that one though. They're not going to quote that type of Moor. They're going to bring up true Moors, fake Moors, dirty Moors, religious Moors, but they're never, ever, 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 ever. Go back and check the record. They never talk about active Moors. Why? Because they're not active. And if they're not active, and Noble Drew Ali said that all Moors are active, not passive, what does that tell you? Do we have to spell it out? If Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, said that all Moors are active, not passive, all, then when Moors are passive, what does that tell you? What does it tell you? And you realize that active Moors are the ones that talk about civics, constitutional enforcement, rights, talk about studying, talk about learning to live within contracts. Passive Moors don't talk about these things. The passive Moor position is to have the people continue to be Negro, black, and colored with fezzes on. That's their position. Be Negro, black, colored, just have a fez on, you'll be alright because the fez is in the headwear of Moors and all of that stuff. But they're not teaching people how to study. They're not teaching people, make sure you go get your 1 to 4 edition Black's Law Dictionary. They're going to tell you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and then use IRS code and use Homeland Security, whatever definitions for meanings of words that they're using. And you tell me these people aren't agents working for the other side? And just like I said in the song, you know, don't think that because you're a black guy and you got a shirt that says Moors that, you know, you get respect or whatever. We don't respect that BS. You're front. No different than Moors with hats that say Moor on it. You're not. Doesn't mean anything. Especially if you're not active. Especially if you're wearing that so that, you know, you don't have to wear the fez because the hat says Moor on it. So, you know, I'm telling people that I'm a Moor. Where's your fez at? How about go outside with your fez? How about wear your fez on the street? So people can see it and know that you're a Moor. Just like the Moor Gibraltar Bay said, had my fez on, and the Rasta stopped the truck in the middle of the street, had people honking. Stopped the truck in the middle of the street to tell the Moor that, yo, it's good to see our people wake up. Rastafarian. Stopped the truck, dump truck or whatever, in the middle of the street. Rastafarian. Like the good brother who we always tell you about, Brother Tallahassee Albay, who's always riding bus and all that stuff, because after his engine died in his Beamer, he said, this is happening for me to take it to the hedges and the highways, because nobody can't see me driving around in this Beamer with my fez on. I need to be up close and personal with people. That he's on his, he works construction and he has his foreman coming to class. He has people on his job calling him Moor and stuff like that. Just because he's active and he studies. So be very mindful of these people that make these little videos and stuff like that. We're telling you that they work for the other side. Their job is to make sure that the people stay passive. Their job is to make sure that the people are not a threat to the democracy force that is occupying the North Gate. Because remember, democracy force, they don't have no authority in, you know, well, I mean, now they will, because they killed Hugo Chavez, they killed, you know, Fidel and whoever else that they're, you know, getting out of the seats over there. Now, you know, Obama could go meet with Cuba now. First time in how much ever years, Obama, you know, U.S. president going to Cuba and stuff like that. You really think that the world is not watching? You really think the world is dumb like these Negroes out here? The world's not dumb like these Negroes out here in the North Gate that want to be Universal Negro Improvement Associations and Nation of Islam and all that stuff. The world's not dumb like them. The world knows what's up. And they're just sitting back waiting to see, when are these people going to wake up to the truth about their nationality and birthrights? Like, when are they going to wake up to the fact that they're the founders of civilization? That they're the ones that took all the ancient African, Nubian, Sumerian, Kemetic, whatever culture and took it into Europe and ruled Europe for 700 years with the stuff that they got from the ancient Egyptians and the Cushites and the Phoenicians and whoever else the stuff was transferred down from for generations. Why do they keep calling themselves continents and calling themselves adjectives? Don't they see that, when we come there, that we're just raping them? Like, don't they see that, all these stores that we set up are in their communities, and then we take everything that we get from them and we go either back to our country or go to the suburbs or something like that? And then as soon as one of their people put up a store, they never support it? The world knows that we're the dumbasses. And that the dumbasses have even dumber asses that are working with the other side to try to keep the people dumbasses. And they know that we had a prophet and all that stuff that came, so that we don't have to be going through this mess that we're going through. The world knows this. Trust me. Take it from me, who works at an adult school and engage people from all over the world that always want to touch my hair, see if it's real. Is it real? How long you growing your hair for? In my country, people who have hair like that in my country, those are the shamans. And those are the witch doctors. And those are the people, anytime something's hurting, you go to them and they give you something to drink and then you're cured tomorrow. People all over the world, Europeans, dark-skinned people, fair-skinned people, shiny-eyed people, thick-nosed people, skinny-lipped people, straight-hair people, coily hair people, bald people. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows who the quote-unquote gods are. But they also know, like this brother from the Congo, always talking to me about, why is black on black crime in this community? Why is black on black crime in the community? Don't they see it's one people? Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, you tell me. You got black on black crime where you come from? Oh no, we only kill traitors. That's it. Only traitors we kill. We don't kill our own people. Only traitors. Congo. Tribal war? No, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's only in news, brother. That's only in news. But Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that we'll learn. Point of a sword. We'll learn though, but we're gonna learn because shit hurt. That's when we're gonna learn. We're not gonna learn till shit hurt. We're not gonna learn until pain. We love to learn from pain. And most of the time, after pain, we still don't learn. Most of the time, after pain, our people still don't learn. But it's alright. You know what I mean? All the active Moors, make sure you stay in your lane. Don't worry about these goofy ass Negroes with fezzes on trying to get you to not be active because, you're scared of jail or getting shot or whatever. Don't let these Moors make you into cowards. Don't let these Moors tell you stuff to make you into a coward. Don't let these Moors turn you into bitch-ass niggers with fezzes on. We already have enough bitch-ass niggers already with fezzes on. We don't need any more. But Drew Ali also said, he's looking for strong men and women. And, half the people that come into this information, they're not strong. They're weak-hearted hypocrites that only want to get something out of this. That's the only reason that this means something. If they can beat a fine or if they can get their child back. CS took my child. Could the Moors help me get my child back? No, you're a Negro. What do you mean? How are we going to help you get your child back? You're a Negro. You signed a birth certificate? Yeah. You reserve your rights? No. What the hell you want? You sold your child to them. What you want? But I didn't know. Oh, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Sorry. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's nothing personal. Yeah, but I saw the Moors say that they went to court and then in the video the judge got up. Yeah, why don't you go call those Moors? Well, I tried to call those Moors, but they don't have them. Yeah, because they're not called that name that they were in that video anymore because they're dirty Moors. So they change their name every week. So now they have a new name because they already robbed so much people under that old name. Ask Way L. He was one of those UCC filing Moors. Go ask him about the UCC stuff that they used to teach people to go file UCCs, and then, he got himself into stuff with UCCs and stuff like that, and he dropped that stuff fast. But, you never hear them talking about denouncing UCCs, though. They just, pick up a new thing and start teaching that. Y'all should bring stuff up to them. Bring up all that stuff that he used to do with Aboriginal law firm. Abundance Child and all them people there. When they used to go around selling packages to people. Ask them how much money they gave back to people who they robbed. Because remember, they don't push UCC stuff no more. So that means that obviously that was a fraud. So if that was a fraud, then shouldn't they retract and put out there that, oh yeah, all that stuff that we used to do, you know what I mean? That's why nobody can't do it. Say nothing to Canaanland Moors, because we've been RV Bay from the start. We've been Taj Street Bay from the start. We've been Aleem Bay from the start. We haven't been tainted with all these other versions of Moors teachings. Our foundation's been the same since we started saying that we're not Negro, black, colored, we're Moors. It's been the same. And it's a big pill to swallow, because some of these people rob people of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And, they're going to lose more people. They're going to lose more people than they lost already if they come out and tell you all the stuff that they used to do. Forget what they're doing now. All the stuff they used to do. If they tell you about those stuff, everybody who's down with them will jump ship tomorrow. That's why they don't tell people about the stuff that they used to do. Because they know it's going to mess up their number game. Because all these individuals are about is popularity. Views on videos. We put it out there from Jump Street. Quality over quantity. We could care less about 50,000 people waking up to their nationality and birthrights. If we got 10 people, we're running with the 10. Well, there's 144,000. No, we don't need no 144,000. 5 will do. 5 competent Moors. I could use fingers and toes and count the competent Moors who I would have on my team before I have 50,000 Moors out there who some of them want to get out of stuff, some of them want to do this, some of them want to claim houses, some of them want to right to travel with state plates and licenses but no insurance, some of them want to right to travel with no plates, with no licenses, and then, some sticker on their windshield that they're Mason or whatever like that in order to, playing with all that stupid stuff there. Competent people only. Quality over quantity.
what the man himself said. Anyway, Sabir Bey, he rejected my invite to have a discussion with me unless I paid him something that he has said in the past, that I had to pay him $1,000 to have it. What? Pay you $1,000 to discuss the misinformation?
Hell yeah, pay him. Because again, Sabir Bey Show is a platform that Eddie Griffin listens to. Sabir Bey Show. Yassine Bey listens to Sabir Bey Show. Probably Beyonce, Jay-Z, all them people listen to Sabir Bey Show. Tommy Davidson listened to Sabir Bey Show. So if you're going to go on Letterman, Leno, or whatever like that, you know what I mean? You got to pay. So what's different with that? Oh, but you know, you want to support your own. You want to go buy more hats. And you want to go buy European suits for lectures. But you're not going to go support the brother so that they can get 2-hour show instead of having a 1-hour show. No. Or you don't want, we should get together and have this discussion. So you want to unite with active Moors, but you don't want to shell out so that we can, you know, make sure that the discussion is going to go, you know, because if you pay, then you're going to make sure, you know, you get what you pay for. But clearly, you don't want what, you know, you don't want anything. Because, you know, if y'all are Moorish Science Temple and y'all been doing such good work and you have so much membership, $1,000 should be nothing. That's, you know, all the people that you guys got in your temple or whatever like that, you take a donation from everybody and then you pay the $1,000. And for the record as well, I'm pretty sure there was no denomination that you had to pay. It was just, you know, pay. I'm pretty sure. But people are going to say, you know, whatever they want to say to make their stuff sound good, you know, in order to, you know, sway votes. The people are like, oh, Sabir wanted to charge him. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Moors are charging for information. How is he doing? No, we're not charging for information. He has a platform where if you go on his platform and you say your website, do you know the influence of people that are going to be hearing? No different than the sister. 16-year-old sister called into the show. 16 years old. Want to know? Well, I don't get how come they have a problem with you guys, because when I go on the website, you know, everything makes sense to me or whatever. 16. So if 16-year-old can get it and not think that it's confusing and not think that, you know, I don't see her getting arrested for anything. She's studying the same information for RVB publications, you know what I mean? All the books that Sabir puts out or whatever like that. She's studying that stuff. I don't see her getting arrested, so, you know what I mean? Again, goes back to these punks who want to get something out of this, or who want to get out of something that they're in with this information. Three-quarters of the time, the stuff that they're trying to get out of is something that's illegal that they're doing. And then when you check the Zodiac Constitution, which supersedes any other constitution, because, you know, that's the Zodiac. The Zodiac is astrology, which is stars, which was way before paper. Way before paper. So the Zodiac Constitution says that we don't support criminality. That's another reason why they diss Great Seal. Moorish, Great Seal Association of Moorish Affairs. National Association. National Association of Moorish Affairs. Why they diss that? Because it doesn't support criminality. So when you're a Great Seal and you get a call that, hi, I got a ticket because my tail light was out and now they impounded my stuff. Sorry, can't help you. Yeah, but you're more. Yeah, but I'm Great Seal. I got Zodiac Constitution oath and we don't support criminality. But why is it criminal to have my tail light out? Because the guy behind you can't see where you're turning. And that's criminal. If you're going to leave your tail light out. Because you learn in driving school that before you even get behind the wheel, you're supposed to walk around the car and check all your stuff, make sure your stuff's right. So it's criminal for you to not check the car first, check your brakes, check your mirrors, check your stuff. Same thing that they taught you in driving school. You're supposed to check all your stuff before you get behind the wheel. Did you check your stuff before you got behind the wheel? Well, but see, when I was driving that, no, when I've been talking about what Highwayman did, we're talking about you. Did you do the spot check? Did you have the checklist from driving school where they tell you before you go in the car for driving school, before you do your test, make sure you walk around the car. After you walk around the car and you check all the stuff, then you get in and then you check all your mirrors, make sure all your mirrors are straight or whatever like that. Make sure you do the seat. Even though the seat's already set for whatever, you still just make the seat move just because it's driving test time and they're check marking everything when it comes to driving tests. Make sure the steering wheel column is, you know what I mean? Make sure it's where it's supposed to be or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Hands at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock and all that stuff to make sure that, you know what I mean, you pass your test. Oh, you got license now, so you don't need to do any of that stuff. Oh, you could just jump in and turn the key and then go, well, then get tickets then. I mean, come on now. You're supposed to check your stuff. Don't blame Highwayman. Highwayman just doing his job. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I checked. Yeah, your tail light was out. You know what I mean? As Highwayman, I know that you're supposed to walk around the car and check the stuff. If you didn't walk around the car and check your stuff and your tail light's out, then that lets me know that you're criminal. And, you know, don't worry about the criminal stuff that I'm doing as a highwayman. Don't worry about the criminal stuff that I'm doing. Because you did some criminal stuff before my criminal stuff. And then that's how people get caught up in stuff. Because they don't check. They don't fact check. That's why there's so much dirty Moors around here. Because if the people would have fact checked and walked around the temple, make sure everything is, you know, let me just see, all the pictures that I see on Noble Drew Ali, Moroccan flag is on the left. UDOT's flag is in the middle. And then Continental flag is on the right. Hold on, they got no Continental flag, but then they got stars and stripes on the left. Then they got Moroccan flag on the right. Then they got podium up there. Then they got a seat. It's supposed to be Noble Drew Ali's seat, but that's behind the podium. Shouldn't they have that somewhere where, you know, people could see that that's the prophet in that chair back there? Why is that hiding behind the Grand Sheikh guy? How come the Supreme Grand Sheikh guy is standing in front of the picture with no? Shouldn't Noble Drew Ali be hanging from the podium? If that's the prophet and he's the one came for everybody, why is Grand Sheikh standing in front of the prophet? Is he trying to imply that he's the prophet? No. And then people get mad when we, call out temples and stuff like that. But remember, keep in mind, Grand Sheik Kudro, I'm a temple. I'm part of a Moorish Science temple. So, you know, if I'm pointing fingers at these temples and saying, hey, there's problems with the temples or whatever like that, you know, that should let people know something. I'm the head of a temple. You don't hear no heads of temples talking how I talk. Why? How come? How come they're not calling out stuff? Oh, no, because, you know, Noble Drew Ali said that, you know, we got a, you know, intelligent tone and we're supposed to talk like this. And, you know, no, he said when you go to those people out there, when you go deal with these foreigners out here and, you know, deal with them in intelligent tone, because as soon as you raise your voice or whatever, they think you're a nigger, they're going to call the highwayman on you. These people are very interested in keeping our people deaf, blind, and dumb. The temple people, the heads of the Moorish Science Temple that are around today, and, you know, if any of them that, you know, if they're not corrupt, then they would step up and say, we're not corrupt. You know, just for the record, we heard Kudro say that whatever. We just want to put on the record that we're not corrupt. Now that this goes out, if you see them start jumping up saying that they're corrupt and they never said nothing for the past 8 years that they're corrupt, know that they're playing you again. Right? Because they should have jumped up and said something back then that they're not corrupt, instead of saying Kudro's, he just listens to Taj and all that stuff like that. He's down with Taj, but they never said that they're not corrupt when we call them out as corrupt. When we say that certain Moorish Science temples, based on what line they come from, are down with the Moors that killed Noble Drew Ali, only individual who isn't in that bracket is Emil. Anybody else who says that they're grand whatever of Moorish Science temple, other than coming from the line of Miliel, know that they had a hand in the assassination of Noble Drew Ali's body. Because remember, Spirit, you know, he already left. He was looking at the body while they were kicking its ass, laughing at them. He was already in the soul plane, and they just had a body kicking the body's ass. Talk about, yeah, we killed the prophet. Cheers. But they didn't do nothing. They signed their death certificate. Don't worry about his death certificate. They signed their own death certificate. They signed their own death certificate. And their time is over. That's why they're sending these people, Way L and all these people out here, to try to make us look like, you know, we're the ones that's doing stuff wrong and all that. No, yeah, we're the ones doing wrong stuff. Right? And they've been pristine since 1929 and all that stuff. The hell out of here. These Moors. Tripping ass Moors with more hats on.
That you're putting into the public, that makes absolutely no sense. Your capitalism is getting the best of you, beloved, and that's not what the Moorish movement is about, although it takes finance to uplift the nation. Now, after the discussion, after I said my piece, Sabir got back on and he tried to make it seem like he's not dissing all of the temples. Well, then callers called in and dissed the Moorish Science Temple of America. Every caller, almost. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a church. It was ran just like a Baptist church. And you hear Sabir and the other host in the background chuckling.
Yep. Laughing at their asses. Because we get the calls too. We get at least one call, one email every week from somebody who visited the Moorish Science Temple of America, and when they walked in there, they were disgusted with that place that they walked into. because they walked in there and people were looking at them up and down like they had shit on their shoes or something like that. They walked in there, they heard people clapping and singing stuff or whatever like that to Noble Drew Ali. They said, all right, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And they sat there for 2 hours. And these people didn't pull out one law dictionary. They didn't pull out one constitution. They didn't pull out anything but Holy Quran and just talk BS about, you know what I mean, religious stuff. That's not Moorish Science Temple. That's a disgrace. And we want to give honors to all those people who called in with their testimonial to talk about the hypocrisy of the Moorish Science Temple. That's what Moorish Science Temple turned to, some goddamn church in 2016. A freaking regency that was established in order to get our people to know the truth about their nationality and birthrights is pushing some pseudo religious BS, because this is not a religious organization in the context of relative to how churches run. This is religious because it's supposed to tie you back to your ancient foremothers and forefathers' divine principles. That's why it's religious. And then, you know, they would know that if they taught etymology. But since they don't teach etymology, they don't know the origin of the words that they use or the words that the prophet used to know that something's going on that's not being told. And when active Moors step up and tell, these people feel threatened that they're going to lose membership, so they start talking BS to active Moors. When we're not deliberately calling them out, we're just putting the truth out there. And what happens when you put the truth out there? One piece of truth on a mountain of lies is going to make that mountain of lies turn to dust. And the mountain of lies that these so-called Moorish Science Temple of America has been teaching for the past 1929 till now, years, is turning to dust. And they're extremely threatened right now. And they're going into their witch bag and pulling out all types of rituals and curses and whatever else that they can, sending their little minions out here like Way to, you know, talk BS about Sabir, who've been doing this work online for however long, you know what I mean, touring, putting out documentaries and all that stuff about Noble Drew Ali and all that. None of these temples even attempted to even put out a documentary on the Prophet. They got so much information on Noble Drew Ali. You tell me no Moorish Science Temple put out a documentary on Noble Drew Ali yet? Not one. It took somebody who's not in the temple to put out a documentary on Noble Drew Ali. And these people are going to talk about they honor Noble Drew Ali. Oh yeah, this is a technological age and we got access to more information that Noble Drew Ali had, so we can do more research. But how come you never put out nothing on the Prophet? Y'all got so much information. Right? Don't let these people play you out your birthright. Don't let them play you out your birthright. Because if they play you out your birthright, you're the fool. Because this is birthright. This is birthright. Just like another sister, a new Moor, building with a brother from a particular, you know, group that claims that they're an empire. And then she has their information over here, and then she's doing her own research over here. And then she came to the conclusion on her own, just by studying, that I think those guys were trying to recruit me. How do you feel about that? Well, I'm not really into being recruited and stuff like that. Like this is not something that I can be recruited into, right? Like, I mean, I'm a Moor, right? Oh, okay. Clearly you've been studying, sis. Keep studying. Good job. You get the applause and all that stuff for using your common sense and not being played by these fools trying to play you.
As if that's funny. As if, so you wasted time having me call in for my couple of minutes, asking you for a discussion on clarity about the difference between our ideologies. But you went on for another hour and let all of these other people call in that diss the Moorish Science Temple of America. What part of the game is that? Then Taj Tariq Bey calls in. Now, I was invited to the same show about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, to call in while Taj Tariq Bey was there. I missed the call. I forgot about it. I was having a discussion with some other brother, and the time we was on the phone 2 hours, I forgot. I was accused of ducking Taj and ducking Sabir. Me. Me.
Yeah, you, because you also ducked us when we were supposed to have the debate with you, talking about, well, a sister said that I shouldn't do the debate with you guys because we're supposed to be about unity and all that stuff. But that's not what. But then you told another brother that you didn't want to do debate because of Ramadan. So which one is it? Is it because of Ramadan, or is it because of, you know, sister said that we should be about unity or whatever like that? And then, you know, invite comes up again. You know, you got invited to come on the show and talk here or whatever like that. Oh, I got caught up in another call with some other brother. It was 2 hours and I missed that's ducking. You're a ducker, right? You know, but you're going to go debate Ali Muhammad on the, you know, House of Consciousness, Sa-Netter platform, so you guys can get your little, you know, split the door 50-50 and all that stuff, right? You're going to play this, you know, your Grand Sheik when it used to be Supreme Grand Sheik, but then what happened to the Moorish American Party? How come you're not pushing that anymore? Where's the Moorish American Party at that you were pushing, that you're the Supreme Grand Sheik and you have a Moorish American Party, all the Moors could come vote, the Moorish American Party going to be the next president of the United States and stuff? You don't have no comment about Moorish American Party? That you just swept that under the rug, just like, you know, you swept your connection to Aboriginal law firms selling UCCs and stuff under the rug, and, you know, stupid people who don't know better, don't know how to question you about certain stuff that you claimed prior to, you know, today or yesterday or whatever. Not everybody out there is stupid. Like we put it out there. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time, especially active Moors. Especially active Moors who we have the snipers looking at you guys all the time. Don't think that we don't see you guys' little antics. We have snipers. They see you guys. You guys are in the scope all the time. You can't hide. You can't do dirt and we don't hear about it. That's just how it goes. You can't do dirt and we don't hear about it. And when we hear about it, especially myself, trust me, we're about to do something to expose you guys' fraud. And like we said again, majority of people out there are stupid, but we deal with quality over quantity. So we're all about getting the 2 people who say, hey, yeah, that's right, I'm gonna go over here and listen to what these Moors are saying. Forget you Moors. Those 2, that's who we meant to get. Everybody else, they can keep playing their little game with you guys. Who's the really authority of the Moorish science? We don't care about that. You guys do your thing. You know what I mean? Just make sure you keep your little sheep in your little corner. We'll be sending them over here because we shear sheep over here. Right? We steal your wool. Right? Don't send your sheep over here. Keep and then make sure you also too that you let your handlers know that we figured you guys out. You know what I mean? You're not pulling any wool over anybody's eyes around here. You guys could play that stuff. You can play that stuff, but don't think that, you know, you're going to get away with these games that you're playing. Because we will continually, until I'm in the casket or cremated, I'm going to be here talking about you dirty Moors. And trust me, people are waking up to the fact that y'all are dirty Moors. That's why y'all are making so much videos and stuff talking about the master teachers, talking about Canaanland Moors, talking about whoever else is out there spreading the gospel to the hedges and the highways with no apology for anything. You don't care. Just put everything out there. Take all the Arab chamber stuff, just put it out there. Who cares? Whatever people want to do with it, they can do with it. There ain't no secrets. Oh, you can't do that. This is Arab chamber information. Shut the hell up. Ain't no Arab chamber information. Everybody's supposed to be Arab by now. It's 2016. What the hell you not Arab yet? Everybody's supposed to have every information that every Grand Sheikh, Grand Governor, or whatever has. You're not supposed to be any secrets.
Anyway, I caught the after effects of the show. The after part where I was supposed to call in, and Taj was speaking, and he was saying that it was COINTELPRO, that everything was, you know, we were agents, that basically I was an agent that was causing confusion. Oh, tonight, Taj Tariq Bey did the same thing. Anybody that disagrees with Taj Tariq Bey is a COINTELPRO agent. He said this tonight on the air, people. He said that the Grand Sheiks of the Moorish Science Temple of America, he didn't point out certain Grand Sheiks or certain Grand Bodies. He said the Grand Sheiks of the Moorish Science Temple of America are COINTELPRO agents, and that they've been such ever since the 1970s.
Now, as you know, I just came back from Philadelphia doing a lecture out there, right? When I finished my lecture and people were making their comments and, you know, stuff like that, the camera went on Taj Tariq Bey, who was in attendance at the lecture. The Grand Sheiks are COINTELPRO agents. I am a Grand Sheik. I know that even though he said the Grand Sheiks are COINTELPRO agents, I know he wasn't talking about me, because I know that I'm not COINTELPRO agent. You know, real simple. But the people who get offended by being called COINTELPRO agents, they're probably COINTELPRO agents, or they wouldn't get offended. The Grand Sheiks, like we said, Noble Drew Ali, prophet of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. Noble Drew Ali, the prophet. Right? Noble Drew Ali got assassinated, passed for him, transitioned, left the body, whatever. Before he left, he put somebody in charge before he left. Who he put in charge was Emily Ill. Emily Ill was in charge before Noble Drew Ali left. When Noble Drew Ali got assassinated, Emily Ill became swept under the rug, and then Kirkman Gay, Givens L, and all these other Moors claimed to be supreme grand advisors, reincarnated prophets, blah, 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 blah. And then 80 years later, all these people are still around. After succession of succession of succession of succession of succession of people, now they have these people that are, and then nobody knows the history because these guys aren't talking. Because if they talked, and then you trace the stuff back, you realize that the people who they come from are the people who were down with the assassination of Noble Drew Ali. And the only body right now that is where people should be going relative to the Moorish Science Temple of America is the body of Emily Eel. Now keep in mind, when Emily Eel passed for him, Moors who were down with the real succession were stealing stuff, selling stuff, and all that stuff. To where today, you have, you know, some fakers, even amongst the Emily Eel body of Moors. So, the Grand Sheiks or COINTELPRO agents is not a fiction. It's real. But the ones who know that they're not COINTELPRO agents are the ones that aren't going to get mad when Taj Tariq Bey says the. Because the ones who aren't COINTELPRO agents know that he's not referring to them when he says the Grand Sheiks, which means all are COINTELPRO agents. It's really that simple. So as soon as you see them popping up, talking about Taj Tariq Bey said the and he meant all and whatever like that, know that those are probably some of the ones that he was talking about. Because, you know, Taj Tariq Bey is a master teacher. Not only a master teacher in teaching, but he's also a master teacher in the sciences. So certain things that might be done in public is to get a response. But only thinking people are going to realize that the response is really an admittance of guilt. Because this is more science. And we're more scientists. We're not just mere believers of some Islamic divine creed of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. We could actually, you know, write some stuff on some candles depending on the color and do some stuff to you. It is real. We can actually get people to focus their thought on one individual and make that individual win the lottery. It's that real. This ain't a game out here.
He quoted Noble Drew Ali in saying where the prophet said the Europeans are helping me, why not you? The funny thing about this statement is that Taj Tariq Bey is not helping the Moorish Science Temple of America. Some brothers are going to get mad at me, and that's understandable, but this particular situation has to be addressed. I get phone calls as a Grand Sheik of our particular body every single day with people who are in trouble, and they're calling me. Let me not say every day. That's an exaggeration.
Admittance of guilt. I get calls every day. Well, let me say that's an exaggeration. You know, it's not really every day. It's probably once every 2 months. There's no way that he's getting calls like that. No way that he's getting calls like that. And if you are getting calls like that, do like what we do. Do like what we do. If you're getting all these calls, how about you do a class, Lord Abba, Way L, and put all these stuff, because we tell people email their testimonials, positive or negative, and we put them out in class so everybody could learn something. So why don't you do a class, and all these people who you're saying that's calling you with problems or whatever like that, Why don't you put their email address out there, put their name out there like we do, so that whatever issues that they got, you can address it in the open instead of over some secret phone call between you and them, so you can bash our teachings and try to boost your ratings in secret. How about put it out there?
I am going to say I get phone calls regularly from people who are in trouble, and they call me and they say, I've downloaded the ID and the paperwork from RV Bay Publications. I can't get in contact with them. I can't get in contact with Taj. I'm trying to put my status on the record before this court case, yada, 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 etc., etc., etc.
Got him. I'm trying to blah, blah, blah for this court case. Same thing that we said in the beginning. That half these people that get themselves in trouble are getting themselves in trouble because they have some nigger issue that they don't want to deal with. They don't want to take responsibility that they got themselves into some nigger stuff that they shouldn't have gotten themselves into if they're claiming that they know thyself or whatever. Or they're new people who got themselves into something and now they want to download stuff and send stuff to the whatever and go to court and say that, yeah, I'm a Moor and whatever like that. That's the dumbest stuff that you could do. Because we already told people that those so-called magi, those so-called judges are Masons. And because they're Masons, they already know the information that you just got. So as soon as you come in there talking some BS to them, they already know that it's BS, and they're going to let you flap your gums. They're going to let you incriminate yourself. And then they're going to charge you with contempt. And then they're going to use their little highwayman to kidnap you. And then you're not going to blame yourself. You're going to blame RV Bay website. You're going to blame Taj Tariq Bay and say that they taught you wrong. No, jackass. You were the one that were doing stuff premature because your ass should have dealt with your nigger issues. Didn't Noble Drawley say, all old business, keep it as it is and do all your new business in your free national name? Well, if all business is in the name of strawman, and then you get a ticket, and then tomorrow you find out about nationality, then all your old business, you should be dealing with it how you got it. How you got caught up is how you should be dealing with your issue, but nah. Right? Y'all think that this is some type of, you know, secret squirrel, Morocco mole, just say that you're Moors and stuff will just happen for you. This is not a cartoon. This is real. And you better know how to use a chainsaw to cut down an oak tree. Because I guarantee you, you're either going to cut your leg off with the chainsaw, or you're going to cut the tree and the tree's going to fall on your ass and kill you because you didn't know what the hell you were doing. That's why the same individual that he's talking about, Taj Tariq Bay, tells people in real simple terms, don't go put a sign on your house, or don't go to a house that has a sign that says doctor, and then you go inside and the guy inside is telling you, come on, lie down on the table or whatever, and then he opens up his doctor surgery instruments and he has rusty butter knives talking about he's going to do surgery on you. Meaning, don't be premature. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't think that because you just realized something, that thing that you just realized is implementable just because you realized it. That's not how this works. And for individuals like Way L to take the position of blaming the people who's giving the information to the people and not blaming the people who are using the information incorrectly, that's disingenuous. They're not going to blame the people who are using the information incorrectly. They're going to blame the people who gave them the information. That's no different than with the elder, Pleasant Bay, who, is one of my master teachers. But, his issue is not with the Moorish Science Temple of America. For him to be, beating up the Moorish Science Temple of America the way that he's beating it up. His issue is with particular Moors of the Moorish Science Temple of America who took him to court and all that stuff because he used a Circle 7, took him to court because he used the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple because of some copyright BS. He used a handshake on something. Moors taking him to court, and they pretty much messed up his life. They pretty much messed up his life, but he never went at those individuals. He went at the Moorish Science Temple like the Moorish Science Temple of America did something to him, when the Moorish Science Temple of America didn't do anything to him. It's individuals in the seats of the Moorish Science Temple of America that did things to him that he should be addressing. Same thing with these individuals who want to get out of something. This is not get out of something information. This is, you want to better yourself, you want to better your condition, then humble your ass and go study. Humble yourself and go study. And again, perfect example of who I use. My good brother, Casanova Bay, that I've been to his house a few times. He's in Milwaukee. That's one of my summer vacation spots where when I need to get away and just go somewhere just to get different air, I go to Milwaukee, go chill with Casanova. Why? Because when we go there, we're chilling and we're home, inside. And that's pattern that he has, that he's home studying. If he has to go outside, it's to go get something to eat, buy something, help out the family, whatever like that. Other than that, he's home studying. If they got temple and then he goes to the meeting and the meeting's BS, he's mad because I could be home studying. What the hell am I sitting here listening to you guys crap taken away from my study time? That's mentality people should have with regard to getting on this information. You study this information. Study it. And it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Like, death is no enemy of man. So don't worry about, oh my God, I'm going to die and I'm not going to be a Moor because, police is going to kill me. They'll kill you anyways. So chill. If you want to know something, study this information. If you want to get out of some nigger stuff that you got into, hey, you can try, but you're on your own. Don't be calling down people. I can't get a hold of RV Bay. I've been trying to call them. I need these papers because I have court tomorrow. And you should have had papers 2 years ago. What happened? Where were you 2 years ago? Well, 2 years ago, I didn't know. Oh, sorry. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Sorry. Don't tell me you didn't know. Don't bring that one up. But I've been emailing them for the past 2 weeks. You ever call into the show? The show is every freaking Tuesday at 9:30. Have you called into the show and pushed one and asked their question on the show? Well, no, because, on Tuesdays I have to, what do you want? They got a show that you can call in. Ask any question that you want. Where's my papers? I left you guys 805,750,000 emails and I never got no reply. But nah, people are cowards because they think that, we have this level of information that, we're Joe Clark, and because we're Joe Clark, they don't want to come talk to us because, the way that he does in the videos, I mean, I could only imagine on the phone or whatever like that. You get on the phone with Sister Roz or whoever like that, you don't even know who, you're not even thinking about Moorish science or nothing like that. We're talking about the weather outside and, look how warm the weather has been and stuff like that. People and their assumptions. They all assume stuff. Oh, they're avoiding me. That's why they're not returning the call. No, maybe they just don't want to deal with your dumbass question. Because if you went to the website and stayed there for a year, you wouldn't have no goddamn questions. Because everything's on the website. Everything. That's like people say, yo, could we get Taj's number because I have a situation. You've been to rvbaypublications.com. You read that whole website? You stayed there for a year? Nah, but I got this thing tomorrow that... Why don't you just go to the website for a year? Everything that Taj is going to tell you on the phone is on that website. Everything that Cujo is going to tell you on the phone is on that website. Everything that Sister Anita L is going to tell you on the phone is on that website. Everything that Sister Roz is going to send you back a reply in the email is on that website. So why don't you just go to the goddamn website and stay there for a year? Just go to the website and stay there for a year. And you wouldn't get arrested. You wouldn't have highwaymen down your back and all that stuff because you'll be too busy studying. You wouldn't even leave your house and get yourself in trouble. You wouldn't do anything until you were competent. And 99% of the people who get themselves in problems, get arrested and all that stuff is because they're doing stuff when they're incompetent. And if you try this information being incompetent, yes, they will arrest you. Not because of them, because you. Has nothing to do with them. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless. The point is you. You're the one that got yourself in that mess that you got yourself into. Not being competent before you go do stuff. You're not gonna give a baby an apple. You're gonna give him applesauce. Why don't you give a baby an apple? Well, it needs the fruits. Well, I mean, you need teeth to bite the apple. Like, what? Is it really that hard to grasp that you need to digest this information? In order to digest the information, you need to chew. You're not digesting without chewing. Unless you're a baby and all you have is milk, sauces, and pudding and whatever else, then, hey, you know what I mean? You don't need no teeth. You don't need to chew first. People don't want to chew first. They just want to in the mouth and swallow. That's not helping you. So we employ people to go on RV Bay Publications, stay there for a year if you're really serious about this. And we just leave it at that. If you're really serious about this, you're going to go to RV Bay Publications, you'll stay there for a year. If you're really serious about this, you're going to go to New Nagi L YouTube page and watch every single Taj Tariq video on there 10 times. Every video. Watch every video 10 times. And every time you watch a video, take notes. And then, after you take notes, go research the notes that you took. Before you do anything, before you proclaim your nationality, before you go say honors to Noble Drew Ali, before you start telling people Islam, before you go buy Fez, before whatever, go to RV Bay Publications, stay there for a year, then go to New Nagi L YouTube page and go watch those Taj Street Bay videos 10 times. And then after you watch the videos 10 times and you research your notes, then say that you're a Moor after that. And I bet you won't get arrested. I bet you won't have any issues with these highwaymen when they come trying to violate your rights. Bet you. I'll put money on it. Like real money. You got silver in the safe. I'll put silver on it. That if you stay there and you study this information for real, not half-ass study, real study, that you won't get it. And then if I win the bet, you don't even have to pay nothing. I'm not even going to say, go cash in some fiat and give me silver. You can keep whatever you got. But I'll pay if something happens to you. I'll put it up. Here it is. But remember the rules. You have to go watch those videos 10 times and then take notes and then go research the notes that you took. And on top of watching those videos 10 times, go to RV Bay Publications and stay there for a year. On that site only. Don't go straying over here talking to these Moors and those Moors and these Moors and then the Moors down there and then I saw something on YouTube and then those Moors, I want to try that. No, just stay to RV Bay Publications, stay there for a year. Right? Because, you know, we could beat this thing up every day, all day, but, you know, we're going to do this. People are going to complain, oh, the video's too long and whatever like that. And then we're still going to have to, you know, deal with something again in another 2 weeks or month or whatever when these guys go back to their handlers and say, oh, man, we tried, you know, but it didn't work. And then handlers going to send them again, you know, well, try something different because you guys need to stop this activity that's going on. People are waking up and all that stuff. People are sending writs out when we're trying to foreclose on their homes, and when they get tickets they're fighting them and they want to say no taxes on purchases and stuff like that because they have a nationality. You guys aren't doing your job, and the handlers are going to send them out and they're going to try again, and nothing's going to work because, you know, it's the age where people are going to know right now. So we just want to end with that. You know what I mean? I think we beat it up enough that people get the point. If they don't get the point, it's all good. They weren't meant to get this information, and we don't need them kind of people in this anyways who don't get this. Either you get this or you don't get this. If you don't get this, it's all right. Just like Erykah Badu said, next lifetime. Islam. Here before the colonial forces came here, Drew Ali told the Moors they've been in this land for at least 10,000 years. No, he never said that. He said the flag. Well, flags don't make themselves. People make flags. So obviously the people had to be here 10,000 years if the flag's been here 10,000 years. Real simple mathematics. It's not, you don't need the added chamber for that. Right? As Aboriginal indigenous people, we do not have to take anything from these colonial powers. But the fact that we're under occupation by colonial powers, and you already know how they do, you already saw how they kill people, take their organs and stuff like that. To eliminate, you know, getting your ass kicked for no reason, maybe you want to learn how to live within contracts and take some of those documents instead of trying to fight a colonial force when Drew Ali said don't even carry a pocket knife. So anybody talking about military activity, well, the Moors should, you know, start killing Europeans because they took their government. Well, Drew Ali said don't carry a pocket knife. Like, what are you talking about? No, he said don't carry. He didn't say, you know, at the house in the vault not to have your shotguns and your 38s and your Glocks and whatever like that. You have the stuff at the house. You know, as Aboriginal indigenous people, we have a right to bear arms. That doesn't mean that you gotta leave the house with that stuff. But, you know, nobody's not saying don't have it. But people get mixed messages. People don't study. People want to be told stuff. And again, Drew Ali said, man knows not by being told. So why are people expecting to be told everything? Being told everything is not to your benefit. Studying is to your benefit. Hearing something and being inspired to go do research is what it's really about. It's really about being inspired to go do research, not being inspired to act because you heard somebody say something on YouTube and you respect them, so I'm just going to go do it. No, you go research what you heard on YouTube. You're not just going to go do some stuff just because somebody said, go do that. You're just going to go do that. It doesn't work like that with anything else, so why would it work like that with this? Why are people just going to go do stuff because, oh, Taj said I don't need a license, so I'm just going to go throw my license away. And now you're getting divorced and stuff like that because you can't feed your family. You had a good-ass job or whatever, but you're a Moor, so you quit your job because they didn't want to accept your nationality card and all this type of stuff. That's stupid stuff. That's idiotic. That you're going to hear something today and tomorrow you're going to implement it. But you don't do that with anything else. Goddamn Dr. Sebi will tell you, oh yeah, herbs and whatever like that. You're just going to cold turkey, cut off everything that you're eating and then just go put $5 million into his website? You're not going to go check nothing out to see what that stuff's about or nothing like that? So why is it? And if that individual that is sliding something to you to sign, or if you're going to some office and pulling something off of a wall and filling in the information and signing it, that's a contract. And more than likely, that individual that put that paper on the wall or slid you that paper across the desk telling you sign, more than likely they're diverse nationality to yourself. And if they're diverse nationality, the next question is where do they get the authority in your land to be giving you contracts that you're willingly going to sign without reserving your rights? Simple as that. So we want people to be clear. We want people to be clear that we are not saying don't have a license, don't have a job, don't have anything that the democracy is giving, don't have a birth certificate, don't have a whatever. We're not saying don't have that. We're saying that because you're under occupation, anything you have from those people who are foreigners in your land that are pretending to be your government, you should be reserving your rights on those contracts. You should be. That should just be standard across the board. No matter what you sign with these people, you reserve your rights. That's just what it should be. No matter what it is that you sign, anything that you sign, I don't care what it is. If you say that you're a Moor and you've been studying this information and you proclaimed your nationality, you got El Bey on your name, Al Day, Ali, whatever, know that you're under occupation. Know that anytime you sign something with these imposters that are pretending to be government, the people that have the offices that say they are mayor, president, prime minister, councilman, state governor, or whatever, all these individuals are imposters out here. And you should be reserving your rights on anything that these people push to you to sign. Anything. I don't care what it is. Make sure you reserve your rights. Right on the line, all rights reserved. Or do like Moors do, go get the stamp made and then just stamp the paper, all rights reserved, and sign over the stamp. That's just what it should be. Right? Because individuals are taking the position of making active Moors seem like we're trying to get people in trouble, or we're trying to get people caught up in things that they shouldn't be caught up in because, you know, we told them you don't need a license, or you don't need a birth certificate, or you don't. For real, you don't. You don't need those things. Why? Because we're Aboriginal indigenous people, and we've been here different with this. Right? And this is the issue that people are having out there when we talk about people getting arrested, and you know, and then these non-active temple Moors use that as a way to get people to not be active. But see those Moors, what those Moors teach gets you arrested. No, people's dumbass gets their self arrested. People doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing gets them arrested. People violating the Prophet's orders gets them arrested. It has nothing to do with what we're teaching that gets people arrested. People acting premature with this information gets them arrested. Because I know Moors who've been on this information that's never been arrested. And how come they never got arrested? Why? How come this Moor been, you know, new Moor, just came into the information, said, you know what, forget this, I don't need a license, sent the license back to the people, who he got it from, and uses nationality card to travel and gets stopped, has been stopped on numerous occasions and never been arrested. How come? Well, those Moors, there's 50 Moors over there that got arrested. Well, I don't care about those 50 Moors that got arrested. Clearly they weren't doing what they're supposed to do. That's why their ass got arrested. If they were doing what they're supposed to do, they wouldn't have got arrested. And what the brother that didn't get arrested was doing was studying. He was changing his mindset so his conditions outside of himself will change. That's why he doesn't get arrested. He didn't just hear something and then go do it. Heard something, digested what he heard, went and did some research on what he heard, realized that what he heard was real because there's all this information out here to back up what he heard, and then started implementing based on what he knows. In an intelligent tone. It's another reason why Moors get arrested. Drawley told Moors, that red flannel is going to get you in trouble. That tongue in your mouth. Don't know how to shut the hell up. Always want to prove something to somebody. You have nothing to prove once you got your fez on. You got nothing to prove once you know the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Nothing to prove. This is not, we're not doing this to prove something to Way-El, the people who sent him, or any of the other non-active temple Moors out there. We're not doing this for them. We're doing this to get information out to the people on this information so they can look at it from the right perspective. And, you know, nothing's wrong with being a non-active temple Moor. You know what I mean? If you want to just sit at the temple, and if you want to just go feed homeless and go plant trees and Islam Moors, peace and love to all the active Moors. Peace and love to all the active Moors. This is a response to Sheikh Way-El and his trying to, you know, punk off the master teachers, like master teachers got time for him or whatever. So I'm gonna step in place for the master teachers today, you know what I mean, and address some things that he addressed so that people can be clear, be very clear, crystal clear, right, as to why there's all this confusion in the Moorish movement that nobody wants to deal with. Everybody wants to beat around the bush as to why there's confusion in the Moorish movement. Everybody wants to beat around the bush. It's just a thing that when it comes to the Moorish movement, nobody wants to deal with the issues. Everybody wants to beat around the bush. And we're not going to beat around the bush today. We're going to tell it how it is. Not that we haven't been telling it how it is, but it seems like people like the debate antics. People like the, versus antics. So today is going to be active Temple Moors versus non-active Temple Moors. Just for the record, just so you know, I am Kudro Adwell, and I am a Grand Sheikh of the only Moorish Science Temple of America in Canaanland, that some people use the misnomer of Canada. In the temple that we have here, right, we do not cater to any type of religious controversy. We do not cater to any type of de facto processes without strict reservation of our rights when doing so. Meaning that there are Moors in the temple in Canaanland that have licenses. It's no big deal. We don't sweat it like that. Why? Because we're taught as active Moors that because we're under occupation, because there's foreign imposters pretending to be government in our land, that if you contract with anybody in your land, meaning Moors, if Moorish Americans in Canaanland contract with anybody, they better reserve their rights on whatever contract that they're making. We don't care what it's for. Just make sure that on that signature line, you write all rights reserved, without prejudice, doesn't matter, UCC 3-5089, UCC 1-25 million, doesn't matter. Make sure you put something on that line before you sign that contract, because we're under occupation. So again, not every Moor in Canaanland exercises right to travel. 99% of the Moors have quote-unquote Ontario plates on their cars, conveyances, whatever. 99% of the Moors in Canaanland have driver's licenses issued by the Ministry of Transportation, which is a pseudo-governmental office that deals with transportation out here. But 100% of Moors in Canaanland reserve their rights on those contracts. 100% of Moors in Canaanland that exercise anything relative to being Aboriginal and indigenous to the land have a nationality card. right? So we don't want anybody to take the position of thinking or assuming or putting out there that Grand Sheik Kudro in Canaanland said that the more, remember, we got licenses, we got passports. How did I go to Philly? I used a passport, Canada passport, corporate document. But on my passport picture, I have my fez on, because the picture is mine, passport's theirs. The picture is mine. I paid for the picture. I went and got the picture done. The passport is Canada's stuff. It's not mine. In my picture, that's on the passport, that belongs to Canada, I have a fez on. The line that says signature, I have all rights reserved, and then I have the straw signature over that. Because I know how to live within contracts. And when you're living within contracts, your position is to reserve your rights on the contract. That's the position. Reserve your rights on the contract. Because the contract, anything that you sign, the contract, anything that someone slides to you and says, sign here, that's a contract.